Market recap for Monday, the 29th of September 2025. Right, so yesterday, as I said, I'd expect Monday to be a large range day and to be bullish. So, in my definition, I think that's a large range day and bullish. Right, so the day was expected. Did I find an entry that I liked for the longs? Nope. Do I care? Not really, but at least I can frame the day, and if I really wanted to trade it, I'd be able to, right? So, first thing is it's an NFP week, right? So, Monday or Tuesday will be like I don't know how to explain it. All the days to trade basically, right? There'll be a hell of a lot of volatility, and it's just gonna try to go somewhere hella fast, as that CT teaches. Second thing is we had an inside day on Friday, and that also will be a reason for us to have a large range day that normally would take at least two previous daily like highs or lows, right? So I'd expected this high to be taken today as well. No, actually no, that's cap. I expected this high to be taken, but at least to the CE, right, of this week, at least a minimum, right? Not that all the way there, but at least here, right? Because I forgot about Friday's high is here and Thursday's high, right? PD arrays wise on the daily, we ain't got nothing to deal with. Everything was dealt with the Friday, and the close above the 0.75 just says how very bullish we are, right? So it's expected. So let's jump on the 4 hour and like my thoughts for the day, right? So market opens right here in this 4 hour, and I want us to displace through this, right? Because then this area will be the breaker block, right? This whole area will be my breaker block, and I just want not this candle, I just want this London candle to pull down, give me an entry to at least this high or something, or like the CE or whatever, right? Just whatever London. I mean, New York does, right? So I actually stayed awake for London in case to trade this day, because I wouldn't like trading the New York session later because most of the move is going to be done, and if I want to get in on a Monday, I'd want Monday low of the day in like London, right? I know it's like technically not low of the day, but I mean like after like midnight true day, it'd be low of the day, so I'd expect price to do whatever. Anyway, as you can see, clear PD arrays is the fair value gap and the breaker. However, I know at that time we are not at discount, right? So we could basically just leave it until we go to discount. And at that time I can't frame a proper discount to premium. So now what we can see is now we have a discount to premium, and now that it aligns. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for that for like tomorrow. Anyway, let's get back to what the day done and what I thought it could have done. So I thought like, okay, we could push higher like this, but then it'd be low probability because New York could literally just say, you know what, still don't care, and just keep going higher, right? Rather than a pullback. Or push higher and pull back like here, right? To at least this fair value gap, which I wanted to be originally the entry for London, but no. And London making low the day here by pulling back at this 4 hour candle to the midpoint or something like here and going up, and then New York going up basically to continue it, you know what I'm saying? Right, so that was basically the three scenarios. There's definitely nothing that says anything bearish, so I did not look for anything bearish. Alright, now we know the PDA rates. Let's get down to a low time frame and explain how the day went, right? So at 2, London pulls back to, I can't remember, it's something significant that I wouldn't place a trade on, and it just kept rallying higher. Since it did this and did this again, and especially when it's a 4 hour fair value gap, it went, hits it to the tick, goes up. I think that's when I closed my charts and went back to sleep. right? New York 930 goes back to the same inverse fair value gap and hits the top of it, now creating perfect sell side liquidity, and then goes up, right? Once it goes up, I'm like, cool, we are gonna go down, but I don't know how and I don't know where, right? And I don't really care, right? So I just like just left the charts for today. So I was like, yeah, that's it. I tried to catch London, slept, woke up here, and it wasn't like the most like, oh, I know exactly where it's gonna go. So I just basically did not bother, and again went back to sleep. And anyway, after the fact, of course it's after the fact, but like after I've done all the stuff that I need to do for the day, open the charts, it was just easy to see what it's done. Again, would I liked it? No, because and I probably would have got stopped out, right? So yes, I know asking New York to go down is a low probability, but we do have these lows. We have London low, right? As you can see, we hit here. Like, yes, we have liquidity, but I knew that I wouldn't like the delivery. And like, as you can see, look at it, right? We go all the way up. Let me explain the delivery. So this is a 4-hour fair value gap, right? In the form of a SIBI. So we expect it to send prices lower, and it's really, really in the premium, right? So let's say I waited actually through all this BS, and remember also our opening range gap was massive, right? It's a massive opening range gap. Let me just check how much we closed it. I'd expect at least 0.5. So that's the opening and that's the closing price. Yeah, that's what I'd expect, at least 0.5. So yes, there was a trade, but as you can see, the delivery was absolutely garbage, right? Since entry time, right? So like, let's say entry time would have been anywhere around like 10-15. TP, realistic first TP would have been at an hour and 15 minutes. That's already way too long for me. And as a set and go, I would not actually be confident until like 11:10. So again, still needed an hour of just watching me get chopped, right? So let's see how I would have entered this, right? Only thing that I see here that I probably would have went with an aggressive entry with an inversion. I see here we go down. That would be like, I guess, a change in state delivery for like that little time frame. Entry here, stop loss some probably around up this high or something. I don't know. Basically, it depends on the risk. Let me actually see how much. Yeah, that's not too bad, right? And minimum TP would be TP1. This, right? That's my minimum. And maybe I run it to like London low. Alright, so risk makes sense. And again, once we like do this and create this gap, my stop loss is instantly here. Actually, I can't lie, my stop loss would be like literally at break even, right? Because I don't see a reason for us to go back there after doing this. But apparently it was not time yet, and as you can see, let me just double check. And a 5-minute, do we have a 5-minute gap or 15? Yes, but we already filled it, so I wouldn't care about it. You see what I'm saying? This pullback is, to me, is just unnecessary, right? Like with the consolidation, I'd expect this to just go down, right? Right, and then as you can see, we go back to the tick, to the rejection block, right? And then if I seen that again, I'd probably enter again, but like I wouldn't know where to frame my risk. So the only thing that makes sense is me fully waiting, because I didn't like this. I'd have to fully wait for this whole change in state delivery, and then just try to get anything inside it. And as you can see, these like 3 gaps, so like I'm guessing a 3-minute fair value gap, so I wouldn't want it to go above the midpoint. I'll probably try to get the lower quadrant, which is probably around somewhere. So I'll just get a whatever entry, right? Like it's not really like like I am entering on the inverse fair value gap, but I'm basically trying to just hit this order block. That's like anywhere in it. And in the 3 minute we can see here there's like a little sibby, right? The high is above, I mean the second candle's there, right? But midpoint and just be like to conserve stop loss a bit there here. I wouldn't want it to go above midpoint, but like I wouldn't be pushing it too much, so I'll put above this high and again do that again. But as you can see, this is already like 11:03, right? Normally I do try to get off at like between 10:50 to 11:10, so again it's pushing it. So you see what I'm saying? Like it's in time, it's in the macro time, but like we're really pushing it. Like we already should have dropped lower, but going up higher there just, it's long. Also on ES, what confirms it to me is that high. I'm pretty sure we make it at 10 there, right? So at 10:47, right? ES, if it hits the rejection block, cool, but no, we see that it goes to the wick and that looks like midpoint. Yeah, so again, that's the second confirmation. Right, so like what time was that? 10:47, right? NQ 10:47. What do we do? Nothing clear, but again, like I know it's going bearish, but I wouldn't know where to frame my stop loss, right? That's my only problem. But if I'm being fair, right, after this placement, clear one in the 3 minute. Let me see if there's a clear one in the 2 minute as well. Yeah, it's really the only displacement actually. Was there a 1 minute fair value gap this whole time? Displacement? Yeah, there was one. Very small. I don't know if that. See, maybe as well. I would have taken that, right? Just pure impulse, like genuine pure impulse. I might would have taken that, but the only thing that makes sense is after the change in state delivery. Anyway, therefore a day I would have won, but I probably would have lost. I would have definitely break even on that one. I know that's a trade I was taken and break even. I know the second one I probably would have lost somehow. I'll try to convince myself to get in, and I don't know if I would be like, alright, let me stop, or would I even go for a third trade, which normally I would rarely do. So like, you see what I'm saying? Like low probability day, at least, right? I'm logging it, right? And if I really want to trade a Monday like this next time, then I'll do it. But like, I was just not bothered to trade today. That's like the main thing. I was just not bothered because it seemed like low probability to me. And also with my model, I'd rather go for the discount and head to a premium rather than trying to pick a top, right? And try to target lower, right? Because again, this market is very, very bullish. I do not want to go against the grain. Going against the grain, this is what I'm getting. This choppiness, this slow movement down, blah blah blah. But hella pullbacks, right? Until TP. But look us, if we're bullish, we're just going up and up and up and up and up and up. Yes, we'll have the 930 like little manipulation down, but we go up all the way to target. And then, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, that's the market recap. Main point, keep track of the daily PD arrays. If there ain't any, keep track of the 4-hour PD arrays for high time frame. Know your bias. Monday, I know this was double news, like orange. So home sales and Trump speaking at 1:15, right? So, and it's NFP week Monday. So after seeing today, yes, that's a Monday to trade actually, right? Like that's a Monday that I'd be looking to trade, right? And aim for low hanging fruit objectives. So take this short just to this low, right? This is the most clear relative equal lows. find a short that is clear on the 2-3 minute whatever, right? Like this reclaimed actual inversion fair value gap. I mean this inversion fair value gap, right? Or whatever. Right? Just look for stuff that are clear, that lines up, right? Because yes, this should have worked, but they added this distortion, and then now back at it again, right? Basically, easy market maker sell model here. I'm here today. All right, that's the market recap. Yeah, tomorrow actually, tomorrow. What would I expect? To be fair, discount wise, I do not know really, but the fact that price already pulled here, I'm not too sure. We could have again Asia low, or we could even dig down deeper into London and make a low right at the midpoint of this old breaker block, right? And if we're not going to count both of them, if you're just going to count the upper one, then again it fully lines up with that midpoint. So like it depends where I see reaction and sensitivity. And today we might have London low, right? By the way, if this week is very bullish again and we're looking for higher prices, this low right here, I'd expect this to be low of the week, right? And we're just gonna go higher from Monday. However, I mean, yes, actually, yeah. Like treating this as a just a rejection block. You see how like tiny we just opened tiny, right? And we go. However, if we lose that low, I'm expecting lower prices for the week, right? So it depends. It depends if this whole run up was a manipulation. So that's why we're gonna have to see how we trade in this area. Till now, I'm neutral on the week. Neutral leaning bullish, right? Neutral leaning bullish. Definitely leaning bullish. But it's just because it's NFP week. You never know, right? So don't put 100%, but I'm definitely looking for higher prices. That's for sure. And the best days to trade, I'd say, is today, which was Monday, and Tuesday. But then Wednesday and Thursday is getting like, don't look for big moves, right? Because it's all preparations for Friday NFP. Anyway, that's the market recap. Peace.